Today, we're diving into a really simple but honestly a game-changing idea from Sinek. It's something that has totally reshaped how we think about leadership and what truly inspires people. And believe it or not, it all boils down to one single question.
So let me ask you, why do you do what you do? And listen, I'm not asking what you do, not your job title, not the tasks on your to-do list. And I'm not asking how you do it, your unique process or a special skill. I'm asking why. What's the real purpose, the cause, the belief that actually drives you? The reason you get out of bed in the morning. If your first thought was my paycheck or my job description, you're not quite there yet.
And here's the thing that might make you a little uncomfortable. Most organizations can't answer that question either. Sure, they've got a mission statement plastered on the wall, but that's usually just a fancy way of describing what they do. And Sinek argues this confusion, this lack of a clear why, is the single biggest reason some companies create these passionate, loyal followings, while others they just exist.
Now, if you're thinking this is just some niche business idea, think again. Way back in 2009, Sinek gave a TED Talk on this very concept. It has since exploded, with over 60 million views, making it one of the most watched talks in history. Its influence is absolutely massive, and today we're going to unpack exactly what makes it so darn powerful.
So let's get right to the core of it. The philosophy is called Start with Why. Super simple to say, but the implications, they're huge.
This right here is the heart of the entire idea. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Sinek says this isn't just a clever marketing line. Nope. It's actually a biological principle that's hardwired into how our brains work. And it all centers on a framework he calls the golden circle.
Okay, so this is the main tool you need to understand. The golden circle. It looks like a target, right? It's got 3 rings: why, how, and what. And trust me, the order you move through them is everything.
So on this slide, you can see the 2 ways that pretty much every organization communicates. Most of them, the vast majority, use what's called the outside-in approach. They start with what they do, then maybe they'll explain how they do it, and the why is often an afterthought if it's there at all. But the inspiring leaders, the brands we love, they flip that model completely on its head. They communicate from the inside out, starting with their belief first.
And here is the science, the actual biology of why that works. Our brain is layered. The outer part, the neocortex, is our rational brain. It understands facts, figures, features, language. That's the what level. But deep inside is our limbic system. It's responsible for all our feelings, like trust and loyalty. And guess what? It's also responsible for all human behavior and decision-making. But it has no capacity for language. It's our gut. This is exactly why you can show someone all the data, all the facts, and they'll look at it and say, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. They're listening to their limbic brain. When you talk about your why, you're talking directly to the part of the brain that makes the decisions.
Apple is, of course, the classic case study for this. Think about their ads. They don't lead with, we sell great computers. They have this much processing speed and this much memory. Want to buy one? No way. They lead with a belief. In everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. Their beautifully designed products are just the proof of that belief. And that's why people will line up for hours, not just for a gadget, but to show the world that they too are part of that tribe. They share that worldview.
Now this idea, it doesn't just work for communication. It's actually the key to how ideas themselves spread through society. Sinek connects this to a classic model to show why starting with why is non-negotiable if you want to reach the masses.
You've probably seen a chart like this before, right? It's the market adoption curve. It basically breaks down the population into 5 groups. You've got your innovators, your early adopters, then the big chunks, the early and late majority, and finally, the laggards. Now, for any product or idea to be a real hit, you have to capture the mass market, that big 68% in the middle.
But here's where it gets interesting. Sinek points out that there's a huge gap, a chasm that exists right between those early adopters and the early majority. You can have an amazing product, get some initial buzz, but if you can't cross that chasm, your idea just stalls out and dies. So the big question is, how do you cross it?
And this is the light bulb moment. That first 15% of the market, the innovators and early adopters, they don't buy based on features or specs. They buy based on belief. They are the ones willing to take a risk on your new idea because it aligns with their own identity. They are the ones who provide the all-important social proof that convinces the more practical majority to come along for the ride. Your why is what gets them in the door first.
And like we've said, this isn't just a marketing gimmick. It goes to the very core of leadership. It's about how you inspire people to actually do something.
Think about it. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't give a speech called "I Have a Plan." He gave the "I Have a Dream" speech. He didn't show up with a 12-point policy proposal. He shared a vision of the world he imagined, a world that didn't exist yet. And hundreds of thousands of people didn't show up for him. They showed up for themselves because they believed what he believed. That's the powerful difference between just managing people and truly leading them.
So how do you stay true to your why? Sinek offers a really simple and practical tool for this. He calls it the celery test. Let's say your why is all about doing things that are healthy and natural. You go to the grocery store. Does buying celery fit your why? Yes, absolutely. Does buying fruit fit? For sure. What if someone gives you great advice that you need M&Ms to grow? You'd say no, right? It doesn't fit. Your why becomes the simple filter for every single decision, which is how you maintain consistency and trust.
Now, as an organization starts to grow, a new challenge pops up. Sinek points out that you need two very different but equally critical types of people. You've got your why types, who are the visionaries, the dreamers. And then you have your how types, who are the builders, the operators, the ones who actually make that vision a reality.
And let me be clear, you need both. One without the other just doesn't work. Every great visionary company has this partnership at its core. Steve Jobs was the ultimate why, but he needed Steve Wozniak, the how, to actually build the first Apple computer. Walt Disney had the incredible dream, but it was his brother Roy who figured out how to make the business run. A vision without execution, it's really just a hallucination.
This slide right here gets to the absolute heart of the matter. There is a world of difference between an authentic why, a belief that comes from your core, and a performed why, which is basically just a marketing slogan you cooked up. An authentic why is what guides you when things get tough. A performed why, that gets thrown out the window the second it's inconvenient. And here's the most important part. Your customers, your employees, your audience, they can always tell the difference. You just can't fake this stuff.
Okay, so what can you do with this right now? Here's a super simple checklist. First, try to articulate your personal or organizational why in a single clear sentence. Second, go back and audit your emails or posts from the last week. Did you lead with what or did you lead with why? And third, the next time you have a decision to make, apply the celery test. Does this decision truly align with your core belief?
Ultimately, Sinek's whole framework leaves us with this one powerful, lingering thought. It's not just about having a why. It's about having a why that's clear, authentic, and consistent enough that others will want to join you. Because at the end of the day, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. The real question is your why worth following? Thanks for joining this explainer.